Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call this public hearing to order tonight. I'd like to welcome all of you. This is our second meeting of the month. First meeting, we have a business meeting, and this is the public hearing where the applicants get to present their case. Those that are for or against are able to speak. Before we get started, as usual, would you please stand with me for a word of prayer? Ken, would you please go forth?
Oh, gracious Father, we come here, oh Lord, to Big County business, oh Lord, to feed us all and guide us and walk with us tonight as we do this business tonight. Keep us safe and honor us in every which way. And give us the peace that we need. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Again, I'd like to thank all of you for showing up tonight. Generally, we don't have this many people, but that is the right of the people of the county to come and to express their opinions on what's going on. The first order of business tonight is I'm required to read statement. And I would ask that you listen very carefully. As the first order of business, I'm required to read a few statements regarding the zoning process. If you have questions, I will address them once I finish. Zoning directly affects private property rights, which include the right of the property owner to the enjoyment of the use of that property, and the right of adjacent owners and the general public not to be unreasonably harmed by specific land use. Tonight is the first of two public hearings. A second hearing will be held before the Board of Commissioners on May the 4th, at 6 p.m. In this very room. Attendance is not required, but your attendance is recommended. Order of business. As to the order of business tonight, I will introduce the applicant, and then the zoning administrator will give her comments. Then the applicant will come forward, state their name, address, and state their reasons for the request. You may provide information or documentation supporting the application. Next, the Planning and Zoning Commission will have the opportunity to ask the applicants questions. Next, I will open the floor for public comment. Ample time will be given to those that may want to speak for or in opposition of the rezone request. All comments will be addressed to the commission and not to others in attendance. No personal attacks will be allowed. Next, the applicant will be allowed ample time to rebut any concerns expressed by other speakers. At this junction, no other comments will be allowed, except by the board members. Then I will open the special session of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Then I will ask for a motion to approve, to deny, or approve with conditions. The recommendations will be presented Monday night, May the 4th, to the Board of Commissioners. The Planning and Zoning Commission is a recommending board only. We will recommend to the Board of Commissioners to approve, deny, or approve with conditions. But the final say will be with the Board of Commissioners. Does any member of the Planning and Zoning need to recuse themselves from any request tonight?
Mr. Chairman, I have a request to be recused on number 10.
Okay, Lee is requesting to be recused on number 10. May I ask why?
Mr. McKay and I serve on the Cattlemen's Association board together as officers. And, be removed from that group.
All right, anyone else need to recuse themselves from any other business tonight? Any questions from the audience? If not, we will begin with our first request. Okay, I'm sorry. One other order of business. I'd like for the board members to introduce themselves and tell who they represent. Yes.
Good evening, Cynthia Fortson, District 5.
Kenneth Bradley, Vice Chair in District 1.
Lee Mitchell, District 2.
William Smith, District 4.
Tracy Patrick, zoning administrator.
Mike Pruitt, County Attorney.
And we do have an opening for District 3. That's not filled yet. All right, Michael Waters, applicant for Legacy Baptist Church. Ms. Patrick?
He is requesting to rezone a 2.167 acre portion of the church's 6.62 acres from A1 to R1 to allow it to be split out and sold, and to rezone the remaining 4.453 acres from A1 to AR to bring the property into compliance with zoning regulations. Property is located at 1850 Helican Springs Road in Hull on map 18, parcel 72-02 in District 1.
All right, Mr. Waters?
Yes, sir.
Please tell us what you want us to know.
Well, when we purchased the property back in 2020, we had plans for this particular parcel of the property. That included the pine trees that were standing there. Over the course of the first couple of years that we owned the property, those particular trees developed some type of blight or parasite or something, and we were losing 7-8 trees a year. So we ended up taking out all the trees, and because that property no longer serves the use that we had for it, the leadership team of Legacy Baptist Church decided to look into the possibility of selling that property. And when we had the property surveyed and the surveyor came to record the deed, he was told that because of the acreage of that property, it no longer fit into proper zoning requirements. So that's why we're here, to have the property rezoned in case in the future down the line, the church congregation should decide that they wish to sell that property.
All right, sir. Any members of the board have any questions for Mr. Waters?
I was going to ask you if there was a particular use, if you don't even have a buyer or if you're interested in the property yet.
No, sir. Anyone else? If not, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, at this point, I will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that wants to speak for this rezone request? in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, is there anyone who wants to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing, and I will bring it back to the board, and I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve this rezone request.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second. Any comments or questions? If not, Cynthia?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 All right, Mr. Waters, this board will recommend to the Board of Commissioners, that this request be approved. As I stated before, the commissioners have a final say, and that will be on May the 4th. Jim Price.
Mr. Price is requesting to rezone his 6.975 acres from A2 to AR to allow a second home to be placed on the property as an accessory dwelling unit for a family member. The property is located at 575 McCarty Dodd Road in Colbert on map 70, parcel 9B in District 5.
Price. Yes, sir.
I ain't got much to say, it's just me and my wife, our age, we're probably gonna leave this property to my son. So we figured we'd go ahead and help him out and give him a place to live right now. And that's all, I just wanted to get it rezoned so I could put a trailer on there for him to live in.
All right, sir. Any questions from the board? Hearing none, thanks, sir. All right, we will open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. And I'll entertain a motion. Pick up what we need.
There was a discussion about the easement, and the easement on this property. Does it come off of me?
Let me pull the file.
Is your question?
It is a private drive.
Yes, it is a private drive, and it deads into that property.
It's a shared drive, there's
Shared.
another house behind me, and we both use the same driveway.
Is it, how many properties served at?
No.
Here? Just two? Just two, you and the other person?
Well, there's a house in front of me and a house behind me.
But since this property is not being split, that doesn't really pertain to it.
All right, thank you.
All right, any further questions? All right, does anyone want to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in opposition? I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve as requested.
I'll second.
A motion and a second to approve as presented. Any further questions, comments? Kenneth?
Yes.
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 All right, Mr. Price, we will recommend to the Board of Commissioners that this request be approved.
Thank
Daniel and Diane Tran.
Yes, are requesting to rezone their 1.81 acres from A2 to A1 to combine with their adjoining A1 property, that's parcel number 941, for a total of 57.5 acres for tax purposes. Property is located at 0 Drake Woods Road in Danielsville on map 9, parcel 40 in District 2.
All right, Ma'am?
It's just like you just said, I just want to combine them two checks into one just for tax purpose.
All right, any questions? Thanks, sir. All right, we will open the public hearing. Does anyone want to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve? Second, Cynthia. Any further comments or questions? Please.
Yes.
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 All right. So, Trey, we will recommend to the Board of Commissioners that this, will be approved. You don't have to be here, but I do recommend that all of you do show up at the, commissioner meeting. Number 4, James Dockery.
He's requesting to rezone his 13.45 acres from A1 to A2 to allow a second home to be placed on the property as an accessory dwelling unit for a family member. The property is located at 1025 Irving Kirk Road in Danielsville on map 53, parcel 74 in District 2.
All right, Mr. Dockery.
Yeah, just gonna try to build me a house up there. That's pretty much it.
Any questions from the board? Thanks, sir. All right, we will open the public hearing. If anyone wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, I will bring it back to the board and I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion by Kenneth. A second by Cynthia, a motion to approve. Any questions or comments? All right, Smith?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, this, we will recommend to the Board of Commissioners, for approval. Number 5.
Okay, Melody Christian and applicant for Ernestine Cochran is requesting to rezone a 4-acre portion of her 28.17 acres from A1 to AR to allow it to be split to gift her grandson and to rezone the remaining 24.17 acres from A1 to A2 to bring the property into compliance with zoning regulations. Property is located at 2909 Highway 191 in Danielsville on map 79, parcel 1 in District 4.
All right, good afternoon. Tell us what you'd like us to know.
My mother would like to give my son, some land for home site.
Sounds very simple. Anyone? Hello? Thank you very much. Any questions? Thank you.
My grandbaby said okay.
All right, I'll open the public hearing. Does anyone want to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in opposition? We'll close the public hearing and bring it back before the board, and entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve as presented.
Have a motion to approve? Second? Questions or comments? Cynthia, I believe it's on you.
Oh, yes.
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 All right, we will recommend to the Board of Commissioners that this request be approved. Kenneth Holmes?
Best cheer y'all ever had.
Yeah.
Kenneth Hong, applicant for Richard and Carrie One, is requesting, and I would say these 3 items could possibly be taken up as one vote.
Okay.
If Or would you rather me read them separately and we do them as separate items?
Would you
Well, I
like
remember
these heard?
those.
So you have three applications, would you like them all heard together?
Yes, that would be, make it easier and faster for everybody.
Okay.
So I will read all three applications and then Kenneth Holmes, applicant firm Richard and Carrie Kwan, is requesting to rezone their 34.79 acres from A2 to A1 to be allowed to build 4 poultry houses on the property. Property is located at 0 Cherokee Road in Comer on map 103, parcel 11E in District 4. And they are also requesting a variance to be allowed to build 1 poultry house that cannot meet the 300-foot setback requirement in 2 places on one of the side property lines with deficit amounts of 97.2 feet and 97.4 feet. And then their third request is to rezone their 28.49 acres from A2 to A1 to bring the property into compliance with the regulations. Here's 3 applications.
All right, Mr. Holmes?
Yes, sir. Would like to purchase this land to put a 4 poultry house, like a breeder house. So, and we'd like to ask to see if we can get the zone change from A2 to A1 so we can meet the requirements.
Okay. Now, I know we just talked about taking all 3 of these up and as one vote, but as I see it, number 8 would be separate. I think that needs to be separate.
You're buying both of these properties that are next door to each other, right?
Correct.
Okay.
They're all one owner.
All one, oh, yeah, okay, and you're buying them all from that owner, okay.
Okay, so it's all contingent on,
I would think so. I mean, I guess the question would be, would you want the rezone and the variance on one property if the other property wasn't also rezoned? Or does it all have to be a yes for you to be able to buy it?
That was a yes. That we all in one, so for future purpose and also the tax purpose also.
Okay, so he won't just sell you the one piece of land without the other one next to it, is that right?
No.
Okay.
so it all has to be.
Okay, thank you.
Are both parcels going to be joined together as one or be 2 separate parcels? As of right now, we still live at 2 parcel numbers. We're not joining 2 separate parcels. Yes.
So could we then separate it?
Well, you could, but,
If he still buy both of them?
here would be my, I don't think, so the owner, as I understand it, and Tracy has explained this to us last meeting, I think, the current owner is only willing to sell them together. So it's not going to do Mr. Hall in good to have one rezoned with a variance, but the other one not rezoned, because he can't buy either one of them.
Okay, I have,
Let me ask question 1. On 8, that isn't looking for a variance, right? That's just looking for a rezone.
Correct.
So, what we're asking you, if he wants to sell them as a group, would you buy them as a group would you buy them, they're gonna be separate, properties. They're not gonna be joined together. So, the variance is what depends on everything, right?
Why don't you just hear 6 and 7 together and 8 separately?
okay, we can do that. But I have a question about the variance. Explain to me why you want the variance.
Yes, because the land, the way it's set, so it's not suitable to put poultry house, close to the line, so we have to push it back to close to the property on this side, so we can build them together.
There's an order up there that would help you explain.
Yes, so, the county request for 300, so we're asking for about 90-something that to kind of put on the right side, so the left side will be close to the property line, the right side gonna be close to the kind of, it's not fit, and it's kind of a big drop down, so we cannot have that, altogether, we can't have it.
But my question, I guess, is you can build less houses without the variance. Is that yes or no?
I'm his
No, no, no,
agent.
no.
I can't.
Not right now.
No,
Are you the seller?
no, I'm his agent.
Oh, you're his agent.
I was just gonna kind of help him explain.
Well, come on up then.
All right, thank you.
Come on up and help me.
Thank you. So what it amounts to is for it to be effective to build the 4 houses. So building less houses also takes away the effectiveness of the purchase. So to build the 4 houses, it becomes a grading issue to make it effective because it drops off very badly. So if it wasn't for that, we could move the houses and not need a variance. But it's because of the nature of the land that the variance is needed. Does that make sense to y'all?
It makes sense to me, but my question was, can you build less houses?
Well, we could, but it would be ineffective.
Ineffective as well,
It-
financially or?
Yes, yes. So when you spend, it's just, even numbers, if you spend $1 million on a piece of property and you only have 3 houses producing, it doesn't make money. So when you spend $1 million on it, you gotta have 4 houses producing to make money. So I don't know if that helps, I'm just trying to make it clear to, so you guys can see what he's trying to do.
So the 4th house cannot fit anywhere else on the property?
No, not really, because of because of the nature of the property. It would be a tremendous undertaking of moving dirt, which would probably cause issues. Well, I don't think it would cause any issues for anybody else. I hadn't really looked at it that deeply. But you don't want to, natural drain, we don't want to impede on that natural drainage of that property. I don't know where that runs to, so I don't know if it would run to somebody else's issue. But with that small variance, it would allow it to be built without having to worry about that.
The property hasn't been surveyed to look at a whole picture of where other houses can go. Is that what you're
Oh, yeah. So based on that, that's the drawing that comes the most reasonable of making that work without causing issues.
No, well, my question is, because I'm asking, a 4th one could not fit anywhere else. So have you surveyed the whole, acreage to see if a house can fit somewhere else? Or you just said that place was good?
I think that is a new survey or site plan.
Yeah, that's a new site plan for it, and that's how it would make it.
And that's what they came up with?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I don't fully understand all that they put into that, so I don't know how to better explain that, but that's what has been come up with. All right.
Any other questions?
I know you're
Hold on now.
targeting to put those 4 houses on, is that a 28 acre or 35 acre parcel?
Yes.
35 acre parcel.
Yes.
You're gonna have 60 acres here to consider.
Yes.
Would it not go somewhere else within the 60 acres if you're gonna rezone it all to A1?
Well, no, because if you walk the property, you'd see it would be, you'd have to move millions of yards of dirt. There's gonna have to be a lot of dirt moved anyway, but it would be a lot. And again, it would take the cost effectiveness away.
That was my question. You got 60 acres where it cannot fit
Yes.
anywhere else.
Well, yeah, and that's why the site plan was drawn that way, because it wouldn't make sense.
Okay, you make the thing, it could fit somewhere else, but because of financial deficit of the purchase and.
Yes, it would.
It doesn't make sense. Okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't make it feasible.
And also, that two property, between that two property has a quick, a quick running through it, so we can't put the chicken house in the middle of that.
It has a
Yeah, 'cause
creek.
we gotta stay out in the creek.
Oh,
too.
it has a creek.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, where would that creek be?
It's
It's between the two properties.
Oh, so we can't see it on there.
I have another question for you. You mentioned a small barrier. What do you consider small? You know, we're talking about 100 yards,
No,
100
feet.
feet.
Yeah, feet.
Yeah.
I guess that's my opinion, I guess. I mean, I've been in the, not with you guys, have I been in these meetings, but we've had to ask for greater variances, in other counties, so to me, this kind of seems like a smaller variance. Especially considering there's no residential dwellings, there either. I try really hard, in fact, I don't ask for variances against residential properties, because I don't believe in it, I don't think it's a good idea to push onto somebody else what you want to do. But that's.
All right, anything else? No, sir, not right now. Anything else?
I hear what you're saying about the topography, that there's a drop off, a big drop off.
Yes, sir.
But I guess what I would want to know is how much financial strain, or is it worth it to force you to let me back up a second.
Yeah, don't say.
Yeah, I don't say force. Is it not possible, is the financial strain too much for you to push these chicken houses back to meet the 300 feet? I guess what I'm wanting to see is a topo map or something. How much of a drop off, how much impact that's gonna have on you for us to consider that variance?
What does the grader say, if we had to move them 100 feet? Do you remember what's the difference in cost that is? Kind of a lot, but I want to say it's like $150,000 difference.
My question, the creek.
Yes.
Would you not have setbacks, would you not meet the setbacks from the creek if you were to move?
I think we would, I think. I think we would be able to meet the setbacks of the creek, I believe.
So is that, something that you would consider instead of trying to put it where you're trying to put it, where we have to do almost 100 setbacks? 100 feet.
That would be up to you. Would you still be wanting to do it without the variance? Not, it may not matter to y'all, but just so you know, the gentleman that raised his hand, he's the seller. He actually owns the property.
Well, he gets an opportunity.
Sure.
Okay?
Yes.
All right,
Yes, sir.
well, at this point, anything else you all want to tell us?
What do you think about the variance?
Well, you presented it to us, let us hear from the public, those that are for, or those that are against, and then we'll make a decision.
All right, perfect, thank you.
All right?
And you'll get a chance to come back up.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of these two requests, to, rezone 4-acre portion? No, I'm sorry, to rezone the 34.79 acres from A2 to A1 and the variance. Items 6 and 7. Please come forward, state your name.
I'm the property
Tell us what you
owner.
want us to hear.
Yeah,
What you want us to know.
I'm Richard Keenan, and I'm the property owner. I just wanted to kind of clarify, you're asking about the topography and where this creek is and everything. And
Oh, can you go to that one?
I know this property very well. I've owned it for 25 years, so.
Okay.
So the creek, this is a hardwood draw that runs right down through here. And so, I've never even, I haven't even seen these things, so I just know. So it's starting, this is a hardwood draw of the creek that runs all the way down to the end of the property down here. So it's gonna be running really close to the front edge of this one house, just to, give you an idea where this hardwood draw is. It's, probably, 100 yards wide, and it's, it's a pretty good creek bottom that runs the whole, almost, 2/3 of the property. So, all the way back to, almost to the property line back down here. So it runs just like this, it starts in the spring right up here, and then it runs right down through here.
So what I'm asking about the creek, can he not go to the other side and still be?
Well, I think that's gonna be on the other track that he's also wanting to purchase. So.
He's trying to sell it, I mean, he can't answer.
Well, he knows part of it, you wanna ask, is it possible to build a fourth house on that other tract, or does it have such topographical problems it can't be built there without a lot of dirt moving?
On the other track?
Right.
I really don't know how, what he's wanting to do on that other track. The other track probably lays better, actually, I would say, but, as far as, this side is a little bit more narrow, this track here, and the other side's a little bit more open, and a little bit flatter. So, I don't know what he's wanting to do on that other side, other track, but.
All right, thank you, sir. Does anyone else wants to speak in favor? Anyone else want to speak in favor of this particular rezone request? Hearing none, is there anyone who will speak in opposition?
Yes, sir.
Please come forward.
Anybody else who wants to join me?
Please
I'm
come
glad
forward,
to
state
speak
your
for the
name
whole neighborhood.
and tell us what you want us to know.
My name is Lisa Collins. I've lived back there for more than 35 years, long before he purchased it, when it was still owned by the land company. The creek that the runoff will go into not only runs into the Matthews that they were talking about, the house there, the next one that used to belong to the Matthews, if they don't still live there. On down and around, comes across new neighbor, his land, comes across my friend Shirley's land, the neighbor on the other side, Johnny G, has his farm. We already have the cows there. I'm gonna go for, we are against it because, one, our environmental concerns. We've been wooded area for so long. This is going to be significant risks to our nearby water sources, including the river, which is in very close proximity to this. We already have the drought going on, low water, that river has been dropping as it is. We aren't getting the rains we need, the traffic and the road damage. We already have enough traffic right in through this S-curve here. I have had a major malfunction where someone had come over on my side of this curve right here, and I was almost in the ditch, and they still hit me head on. Now that we're paved, we see constantly, and anybody who goes down Cherokee Road would see that there are tire tracks where people are doing burnouts and driving recklessly up and down that road. So it would be a danger. It's already a problem with the road damage there. The public health, our quality of life in that area would be sorely diminished. That has been God's blessed country, and I've been grateful for it, and I believe that it would sorely ruin my air quality as well as everybody else, the impact on everybody else in the neighborhood, and what it would do to our property taxes. So these are all reasons. I have some sworn statements against it from the new neighbors who are fixing to build, and they want to be able to have a nice little farm. This type of industrial agricultural operation is not consistent with the existing residential and rural character of the surrounding area. Its presence would fundamentally change the nature of the community by introducing industrial level activity into the area, not suited for such use, For these reasons, we respectfully request that the proposed commercial chicken farm not be approved for this location.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anyone else wants to speak in opposition? Please come forward. Come on. Go ahead. State your name and tell us what you want.
Okay, my name is Mike Porter, and I own a property across the street at 2560 Cherokee. That would be this property here. We have a cabin here, and we use the property mostly for recreation. I bought the property in this area and knew what the zoning was when we bought it. I've owned it since 2008, much as she was saying. We all knew what the zoning was when we bought it. I'm very much against this being changed to allow poultry houses. My property is a tree farm with a conservation easement. That's the way most of the properties around there are. My family grew up enjoying hiking and fishing here and enjoying the outdoors. If the rezoning is allowed and the chicken house is built this close to my property, it'll ruin the property with the change to a poultry area, with the trucks coming and going and the smell. I ask that you don't rezone the property to the benefit of one and to the detriment of everyone that has owned this property for all this long time that's surrounded it. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Anyone else? Come forward.
Hello, my name's Bruce Pendleton, and I'm a newcomer in this area. It's interesting that just in the last week or so, I've met quite a few people on Cherokee that I have never met because most of the homes are off the road. You don't see the homes, but so I'm taking care of. I'm tending a piece of land for a Korean family. There used to be a lot of Koreans that lived in that area of Madison County, and I'm caretaker for land. And so I don't know where I am. I'm right around here. I think that's Cherokee. So I'm just down here on the left. I'm less than 1 mile. And when the chicken houses went in 2015, you can't see them from the road, but I didn't know chicken houses smelled because I grew up in a community where there were no chicken houses in North Carolina. But I kept smelling this sweet / foul smell, and I didn't know what it was, but it was every couple months. It would just come for 2 or 3 days, and somebody came to visit me, and they said, are there any chicken farms around here? And I was like, well, yeah, I think there's some right there, about 1.25 miles, but I have been particularly impressed and proud of gentlemen property owners on that road that do what I would call gentleman forestry conservation, professional surveys, professional getting in and off the road with their trucks, selective harvesting, and then burning. And I know that they're done professionally because they don't leave a mess, and that actually has enhanced the visual aesthetic of that part of the county, because when you see a heavily forested pine grove and they take a third out, and then 4 years later they take another third out, or 5 years later, all of a sudden, late in the afternoon, the sun is coming through hundreds and hundreds of trees just shining through there, and it's really a very beautiful place to live. And when I saw the sign, I didn't know what it meant. I looked it up, and I will tell you just in a moment what I'm using this the Kim family land for. We bring families very, very casually. It's not advertised, but it's word of mouth networking. Children and families that live in the city, or the children are addicted to phones or games, or they're just disconnected and they're in their room in their house, and some of them have never been in a garden before. And so I've been organic gardening, no pesticides, no herbicides on that land since 2011, and there literally have been children come there. I don't think they've ever been in a garden because they're running from the greats to the, and so,
Excuse me, sir. Please tell us why you're against it, why you're in opposition.
well, first of all, I don't wanna invite or have people over that have never been in the country and they leave because of the smell.
Okay.
Is that
That's clear. Okay.
Is that, can I just close with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, anyway, I appreciate you letting me speak.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else in opposition?
Marcus, go with us. Okay, Mr. Chairman, Board, and if Tracy is, of course, not. We, appreciate the time you've taken to, Lee, to come out and see the land and, for, Jerry to come out too.
I think that a lot more have come out than you realize.
Oh,
They just didn't see you.
Yeah, y'all, they tell me y'all do a great job of going out to see the site and see what it looks like. And that's, I wish every county did that.
Can you state your name for Tracy? State your name for Tracy.
I'm sorry, I was just doing the fourth one. My name's Bob Seville, my wife is Diane Seville, and we own the property across the street, which would be right where that driveway runs off. And we've got 583 acres, which is in a conservation easement. We've been there since 2000, and we love it there. We came to Madison County because what a wonderful county it is. So I have 3 or 4 points that I think y'all are familiar with, but the main one that I've really added since they got up was the variance. And I don't think that we need to grant a variance to help someone be more profitable and have a better investment. The purpose of the variance, in my opinion, is that the 300-foot setback protects the neighbors. And that's just what we hope we'll keep, is the 300-foot setback, assuming y'all approve this. Now, we obviously don't want it approved, but if it is approved, I want to speak to the conditions. And we hope that you'll fix the number of houses that are on there. 3 houses, if it's approved, and we don't grant the setback, he can go to 3 houses. We'd like it, the condition to be that it would be no more than before he's requested. The 300-foot setback on the road is where they logged, and it's a clear field. So we would hope that you could put a condition on there that they would reforest that. The houses that are up the road, you can hardly see them off the road because they left a great buffer out there. Then the exhaust to the houses, we'd like to see, I'm speaking for me, we'd like to see that exhaust would be out the back or to the interior of the property right there. So they're not blowing towards the road, towards the neighbors. And then the roads, I think everybody's familiar with the roads and the situation there. When they put the 8 houses in, the roads really weren't made for such heavy traffic. And so if you look at the road as it leads up to these existing 8 houses, we're already getting potholes in it. It's been, 11 years since we put it in, and there's cracks all in the road. So the road's already worn out, and it's going to have to be resurfaced. If we double that, or increase it by another 50% for these 4 houses, then the county's going to have to spend, I don't know what the cost will be or how far we'll have to pay, but if you look right past those 8 houses, there's no damage to the roads. So we're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to repave the roads once those are put in. Streams, is Logan, are you here?
Sir, speak to us.
Okay. I was just, trying to see if the next door neighbor has had a lot of, washing and spent $1,500 to alleviate that. So there's some creeks, like Brent mentioned, that originate on that property, and those will flow right down into his property and then down into the river. And, I think that's the last thing. So I appreciate all of y'all taking time to listen to everybody. It means a lot that y'all went out there. So
I mentioned somebody that was moving in from Barrow County.
Excuse me?
Somebody that was just bought, that was moving in from Barrow County.
Oh, okay.
Add me down.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Mark Wiggins. I am the property owner just next to, well, between Mr. Porter and Mr. Seville, who just spoke. I have a conservation tree farm down there as well. I've owned it since 2009, I think it was, when I purchased that property. It has a home on it, and I lived in that home for a number of years until my wife got bit by a yellow jacket and had a bad shock reaction, and we had to move in closer to town. But we're out there just about 3 or 4 times a week. I spent last night there, as a matter of fact. So we're there a lot. It is a place that we purchased because it is a sanctuary for our family, for our friends, and it's a place where we go that's really peaceful and a quiet place. When I first purchased that property, the road was dirt. Cherokee Road was a dirt road back then. I guess it must have been around 09 or maybe early 2010. When it was paved for the first time, I'm pretty sure there was no idea that we would have industrialized chicken houses further down there. But at any rate, it was paved. It's had to be it's either resurfaced, or I think it was resurfaced and relined just recently. And as Mr. Seville mentioned, there is damage to the road. The road is not designed for semi-trucks. It was, like I said, it was just a dirt road. When you get to where the striping would normally be on the right-hand side of the road, the fog line, you're in the grass at that point in time. If you were to look at the existing, there's a chicken house down the road across from Mr. Hunter's. He's got a cabin down there as well, Mr. Tommy Hunter. You see his property there just to the left of the variance request. I thought Mr. Hunter would be here tonight. I know that he has a clear water creek that's so clear he actually has trout, wild trout living in that creek. So it's got a very unique environmental quality to it. But all that being said, I just echo the things that my neighbors have said. We have concerns with the noise, we have concerns with the smell. Those chicken houses have to be vented. We do want them to be vented away from us, but of course, if you vent them away from us, guess what? You're venting them towards somebody else. When we bought that property, we knew how everything was zoned. Everything was in compliance with the zoning at that time. We didn't have to change anything. And now, we have someone asking to change the zoning so they can build 4 chicken houses. I recognize that the economics of it lend themselves to more chicken houses, obviously. But the zoning does not, and the neighborhood does not. So we would ask that you not grant any sort of variance as to the offsets. If they want to build chicken houses, and it is approved eventually to build chicken houses on their property, which of course we hope it's not, but if it is, we do hope there's a number of conditions involving some no variance changes, that we have some vegetative barriers placed so that the property is isolated or more isolated, so we don't have to see it, smell it to the greatest extent possible, and just maintain the general character of the property that we all purchased and have loved and enjoyed for the last many years. Thank you.
All right, thanks, sir. Anyone else speak in opposition? Anyone else speak in opposition? Hearing none. Gentlemen, do you all want to rebuttal?
Yeah.
You want to talk rebuttal? Please come forward.
I'd like to. Just real quick, I completely understand what everybody's saying, I really do. But one thing I would like to point out is Cherokee Road is already used heavily by chicken trucks. One thing that sticks out to me, and maybe I'm ignorant to this, but everybody is in a tax easement. Everybody that came up here is in a tax easement. That is not really taken away from the county, but it's not provided for the county. Bringing in industry that is, you know, been a big industry in this part of the country for a long, long time will generate income and jobs. And the trucks are using Cherokee Road anyway. I know they are. My brother-in-law drives one of the trucks. Goes through there all the time. So, while I get all that they're saying, I just would like to point that out, that it would kind of counter some of the loss in tax revenue with added tax revenue that would help cost with a road that is already damaged, as they have pointed out. And my client does plan to plant trees and leave a buffer. Something.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else in opposition?
Could I just ask any question of this gentleman with what he just said?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Your time has ended. We'll bring it back before the board. And at this point, we're looking at number 6 and number 7 as one vote. Requesting to rezone the 34.79 acres from A2 to A1. And we're entertaining the variance for the one additional 97.2 and 97.4 feet. I will entertain a motion to approve with conditions, or to deny.
If we're handling both of them together, so I guess theoretically it could be rezoned without variance. I don't know that the property would sell with that situation, but if we're handling both of these together, I would make the motion to deny.
A motion by Lee to deny.
I'll second.
Have a second by Kenneth. Any further comments from anyone on the board?
Do we want to see if they would like to hold these separate?
Good. We can do that. That would be up to the gentleman. We want them home separate or together?
Zoning from the variance.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Is your request that we handle these separately?
It'll be difficult with the minutes.
Okay.
It's okay.
Since the property,
So, procedurally, we'll need, does the movement, have any, objections? I forgot who made the motion.
Lee made the motion.
You made the motion.
I'll second.
You're okay with withdrawing the motion?
Sure.
No objection to withdrawing the motion from anybody on the board? Okay, motion withdrawn now.
Okay, so if approved, it could still have chicken.
No, now the chairman is going to take a motion
Okay, we're
on
gonna
each of those separately.
Each one separate. Yes, sir.
Can I
One
ask
last comment.
One question. Now, separating, you're talking about the zoning separating from the variance.
That's correct.
Okay, just wanted to
We will
clarify.
take all 3 of these in, as it stands.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay? All right, number 6 is requesting to rezone 34.79 acres from A2 to A1 to allow to be built 4 poultry houses on the property. The property is located on 0 Cherokee Road in Coma, map 103, parcel 011E in District 4. With that, I will entertain a motion for number 6.
Since I'm going to the fly and the ointment on this, I'm a private property guy, and I respect everybody who came up and shared their opinion on it. I struggle, and basically I volunteer my time on this board to try to do what's best for the county. And somebody's paying taxes on this, and to tell somebody what they cannot do on their own property when it's within the rights to rezone, this makes perfectly good. It lines up with everything to move it from a A2 to an A1 since it's over 25 acres. So I will put forward that we approve number 6 as presented.
Have a motion to approve number 6 as presented. Do I have a second?
I'll second it to get to discussion.
Okay, we have a second by Lee. All right, any further discussion?
I'm assuming that if, regardless of the variance, that if the property is not owned by the applicant, right? This is you're wanting to get this done in order to buy the property.
Yes, sir.
This is contingent then.
Yes.
So, isn't it up to the current property owner as to whether he wants to rezone this, his property, if he wants to rezone it from A2 to A1, and then if it doesn't?
No, we do this all the time. It's very common, they get Tracy has a form for the current owner to authorize someone else to apply, typically it's the buyer.
Okay.
So, done all the time.
Yeah.
Is that,
Okay.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
that clear?
No, but go ahead.
What's left?
I guess what I'm asking is, it's possible that we would vote to rezone this piece of property and then it not sell, but that's not our concern.
I don't think so. I mean, the
That's between-
owner's here if he wants to speak up.
That's between the owner and the buyer.
Yeah, it's a contingency on the purchase of the property.
So if it doesn't,
If it doesn't, then it's not gonna be sold.
but it would still be A1. If we changed it to A1,
And that would be, it would sell. If it doesn't get rezoned, to A1, it will not. The potential buyer will not buy it.
I would suggest the board not get into the intricacies of contingencies and sales contracts. Just take the applications as they're filed.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Well, we're gonna vote, I'm just saying with my vote.
Okay. Where are we?
This is to rezone that.
Rezone that particular piece of property from A2 to A1 because it is more than 25 acres.
Good. Because it's more than.
All right, Lee?
Yes.
Yes.
Mine is a no. And the reason I say no is because I understand the property being sold, but looking at, it's already an A2. And looking at the demographics around it, there's a lot of A2s. And I think it fits with what is already there. So mine is no.
Okay. Yes. Good. We have 3 yeses and 1 no. All right, that's for number 6. Number 7 is for the variance. In order to build 4 houses on that particular piece of property, they're asking for a variance for the setbacks with a deficit of 97.2 and 97.4 feet. At this point, I'll entertain a motion for that particular number 7.
I'll make a motion to deny the address.
Then we'll make a motion, we have a motion to deny.
And I'll second.
Have a second? Any questions? Comments? Okay?
Yes, it's to deny.
Yes.
Yes, it's to deny.
Mike reads me. Thank you.
Yes, okay. This number 7 has been denied. We will, again, we are a recommending board. We will recommend to the Board of Commissioners that number 6 be approved and number 7 be denied. Now, number 8. Requesting to rezone that 28.49 acres from A2 to A1. which is more than 25 acres, so it does qualify, to bring the property in compliance with zoning regulations. The property is located on 0 Cherokee Road in Como, map 0103, parcel 11 in District 4. I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to deny, because saying, even though it is more than 25, A2 is a minimum of 10 acres, and that doesn't make it non-conforming, so I say.
Okay, we have a motion to deny. Say that again.
I'm saying that even though it has more than 25 acres, A2, the minimum is 10 acres, so even though it has more than the minimum in the 10 acres, it's an A2. Does that make it non-conforming?
No.
No.
So it still fits in that.
Okay.
So that's my point.
Okay, I understand the motion, but let me say this. We're trying to, in this county, we're trying to get everything into compliance with the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan says that A1 is 25 acres. So this is 25.
Actually, the comp plan doesn't have acreage.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have acreage, but.
So it doesn't make a difference in this one.
Okay.
Because it's.
Okay, we have a motion to deny. Do I hear a second? Do I get a second? I don't get a second. Do I get an alternate motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve as presented.
Do I get a second? Second. We have a motion to approve as presented. Cynthia?
No.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All right, this has been approved. We recommend to the Board of Commissioners that, number 8 be approved as presented. Again, the Board of Commissioners will meet on May the 4th, and I recommend, or I suggest, that all of you that for and all of you that are against, please be present, and you will have this opportunity to present to them that has the final say. All right, number 14, you as well.
One moment.
Please don't.
Okay, so we're ready for the next agenda item.
Yes, the next agenda item, please.
We have Jake Roberts, and he is requesting a variance to allow a storage building to remain closer to the rear property line that does not meet the required 20-foot setback with an approximate deficit amount of 14 feet. The property is located at 4986 Highway 29 North in Danielsville on map 64, parcel 11 in District 4.
All right, Mr. Roberts?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
All right. I was just want to point out, the old building was there, I tore it down. It was falling in and it wasn't no good. I have a boat and side by side stuff, I hunt. So I want to be able to build something, put my stuff in. So I built it, I moved it up 15 foot from where the middle of the old building. And I didn't really know it was over that far, because when I got it resurveyed, it was actually further than, I think it was even further than 5 feet. Because it come in a lot further than what I thought it did. So I moved it forward, so now it's 6 feet off the property line. I've talked to everybody, I talked to people that can see it from this left, people behind me, I talked to them, and he was really nice, and he said he didn't mind. I bought a place, I moved closer to work, I work at CMC, and I just needed somewhere to put my stuff, and I cleaned up the place and then put some new shop.
Is this already built?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions? for Mr. Roberts.
That's the black and white house that you.
Yes,
Yeah, beautiful house. You redid it?
thank you. I painted it and everything.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I went up there.
I've done a lot of work today. I cleaned up a lot. It was a mess today.
And, the matching garage or whatever you,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, I saw where you had that, part. So you would consider just putting a pad back there?
I'm young and this is my first house and everything, so I didn't really know all that. And then I didn't have the money to spend to put the dirt back over there.
Yeah.
And it was all downhill and it cost me way more than what I had to build it for. And it's all downhill, literally I don't have hardly any room up there to turn around.
Yeah.
I've had to kind of work my way around everything and the creek. I didn't want to go no further down that way to mess with any of that. So, it was just gonna be more than what I needed to do. And I was just kind of putting it right there so it's easy to get to on the flat area.
Oh.
Any further questions for Mr. Roberts?
I know it's water under the bridge, but you didn't know to get it permitted, or you just built it?
I didn't think because it wasn't getting power or nothing, and power, water, I was just using a storage building, and I was replacing it from an old one. I didn't know, and that's my bad. And I went up, as soon as I found out, I went up there and I took care of all that, and I'm sorry about that. That's just me. I'm sorry. Like I said, it was my first time doing this.
Any further questions? All right, Mike. All right, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Please come forward and tell us your name and what you want us to know.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Lawrence Jason. I just want to put on the record that Mr. Roberts' property is right next to mine. It's the property that's being spoken of, and I have no issues or problems with it.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
sir.
Anyone else wants to speak in favor? Anyone wants to speak in opposition? Is there anyone here wants to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Well, actually not a rezone, but various requests.
So I'm asking, does this just go along with this property? The variance, if it was, if it's, it carries on, right?
Right.
Okay. I will close the public hearing and bring it back before the board, and I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
A motion to leave, and second, Smith, to approve. Any questions or comments?
Oh, how many feet was it? 8 inches or feet?
6 feet.
Oh, 6 feet.
It's
14.
Yeah, it's a 14-foot deficit, so it's only 6 feet from the house property line.
All right. Sylvia?
Yes.
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 All right, Mr. Roberts, we recommend to the Board of Commissioners that this be approved.
Thank
you. Number 10.
Okay, Gary Harvin, applicant for Ralph McKay Senior, is requesting a variance to be allowed to build a poultry house on an existing graded pad that could not meet the 300-foot setback requirements from the property lines in 5 places with the following deficit amounts: 18.6 feet, 121.1 feet, 134.3 feet, 146.4 feet, and 195.3 feet. Property is located at 2190 Shiloh Fort Lamar Road in Danielsville on map 35, parcel 35 in District 4.
Gary, you want to come forward? And I do want to remind folks that Lee has recused himself from this particular various request.
Evening, folks.
Good evening.
Busy night. As Tracy said, we're requesting, 5 variances for deficiencies ranging from 18 feet to 195 feet. For new proposed poultry house, for this location. The hardship is tied to the property and existing conditions. The proposed poultry house, pad is on a graded pad that was built back in 1999. Mr. McKay built both pads in 1999, and, with the anticipation of building both houses, but never constructed the second one. At the time, I think that, Tracy, you were probably still working here, Joel Bacon, I guess, who Mr. McKay said, brought a wheel out, measured things, and, so no permit was issued though when we researched it, right, the second building, okay. So what Mr. McKay is attempting to do is use this existing pad. He has a contract in place and has financing in place through Farm Credit, and has a contract in place to continue this generational farm out here. There's an existing operation that's there currently. Relocating the pad would require extensive grading, layout, redesign, and have quite an environmental impact for the disturbed area for erosion control and things of that nature. This property, where this chicken house, this operation's already built, is in a weird configuration where 3 properties already come together. All the properties around here are zoned A1 currently. The nearest dwelling is roughly a quarter mile from the proposed chicken house right now. There are no residential dwellings on Mr. McKay, the other adjoining owner, or Mr. Burns' property at this time. We've worked with a neighboring property owner, Mr. McKay's brother. He's written a statement of support. We reached out to Mr. Burns. He indicated that he wouldn't contest it, but would not come out with a letter of support in it, but we attempted. So, Mr. Burns, Mr. McKay, the 2 families do work together with hay and production out there in agriculture production, but currently I think Mr. Burns' property is a hunting property. Mr. McKay's property is, James McKay, not his applicant, Ralph, is currently in ag use. Any questions?
I have one.
Yes.
Mr. Burns, do you have any kind of documentation saying that, other than word of mouth, that he would not object or he would not contest it?
Mr. McKay had reached out to him on the phone, so it's just verbal at this point.
Any questions from the board?
Y'all had a question, when it was discussed, is this pad graded or just, dirt?
It was graded quite a while back.
I mean paved or dirt, yeah.
Yeah, it's got trees and stuff growing in it now. The pad's still salvageable,
That's the question, how is something that it's been sitting there for 27 years, still of any economic value versus having to move it?
I would think they're probably gonna have to strip 1 foot to 2 foot off the top of that pad to get back down to good dirt, but that's probably a lot easier than building a new pad with the topography in some of the other locations, so.
Today we received an email about a hardship. That was not something that was when we initially, met and talked about this. Mike, can you give us a little counsel here with what, this hardship and how this actually would apply in this situation?
So, this is, with the application. So this is the application says it's for a special exception variance under section 11.1. Hardship variances are governed under 11.2. There are different standards, there are different requirements for each of those, different considerations. If you want to, one difference is that, I don't even get into that, it's fine for that. So section for special exception variance, your standards for approval are in 11.1.3. A hardship variance, your standards are in 11.2.3, and to some extent in 11.2.2. But this is special exception, so you're looking at those four standards, A, B, C, and D in section 11.1.3.
And I would stress to the board that Mr. James McKay, neighboring property owner, we tried to look at swapping some property and different things like that, but had conservation breach issues to be able to mitigate the setback, but the impact of the request for these two, of course, this being the worst, Mr. McKay is here in support of it, so the impact, I feel, is lessened on those two requests. Our other requests are against Shiloh Fort Lamar Road, which is an 80-foot right-of-way corridor. So to get to the next property owner on the other side of the road, if we took the corridor out, you know, you're looking at not needing this variance and this variance being, 80 foot less than what's being requested. So, you know, with that being said, I primarily am looking at the 121.1 foot deficiency that's coming over here. Infrastructure-wise, grading-wise, you know, the easiest place to build this is here. Currently, I know the property drops off and has floodplain in different areas like that. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, these growers want these houses close together, and that's why we come in here and ask for these variances. To locate this house on a different side of the property, of course, going to be a different full set of erosion plans, full set of impact, all of that type of stuff. And then it's almost two different operations when you break them up like that, so, yeah. I will stress again, this is an existing operation that has been in use for 27 years since it's been built. You know, it's a current business. It's a generational deal. We've got a young man that's coming back to try and take on this farm as his father retires, and one house just doesn't pay the bills in today's economy. I don't know if I call that a hardship, but that's where we're at.
Actually, the section 11.2 hardship variance specifically excludes consideration of economic factors, which 11.1 does not. So, sounds like this conversation is properly about 11.1 as the application is filed.
There is no other area that
we've looked at
to be built on that meets the setbacks?
We've looked at a few areas. Of course, there's a chicken house that caught on fire that's located in this area up here. To go back and use that pad and demolish it, but again, we'd still be in a setback issue with Mr. McKay, Mr. James McKay's property there. Yeah. Other area would be in this area here. Topography does fall off. You know, you get into grading issues and disturbing more land than what we would disturb to put this. If we're looking at an environmental impact, the footprint of what we'd be disturbing. So there is a possibility, yes, sir. I don't want to bring the financial side into it with the hardship the way we are. Of course, that'd be
no, financial's okay to discuss.
Yeah. Okay.
It wouldn't be had you applied under 11.2, but you got to do that, so you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to move another $150,000 worth of dirt to build another pad, to pad it up to meet the topography, yeah, it's a financial hardship in my opinion.
By the way, number 7 was also filed under 11.1, and that's why financial issues were fine to discuss on it as well.
And I think as we continue to find more industrial poultry operations, these are commercial pads people are building, 50 foot by 400 times 4. I've done a lot of big box work in my day. It's a big industrial site. This is tucking this in where an existing site is, trying to fit it in and mitigate with this pad that's there. I do think it's the best option, and that's why we're here applying for that variance.
Well, that's the same question that I asked of the other group. That's not a small variance.
It is not a small variance.
That is not a small variance. I mean, you know, when you talk about 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, that's a small variance.
I do.
When you talk about 100 and something, that's a large variance.
I think that we need to look at A1 property against A1 property for what it is, and we need to look at the people that want to use this land to create an income with agriculture, and take a realistic look at those buffers versus folks that want to enjoy their land in conservation easements for, you know, bird watching, whatever other activities they've got in mind. some of us do want to make a living with the land that we purchased. So, I think that it's fair in that aspect. If we were against an A2 and AR, or even an R zoning, I guess I would, yeah. Yes, ma'am, everything is A1 around us currently.
Well, I can understand that, but even as A1, those,
So it has A2 to the north, but I guess, is this on the south side of the property, away from that A2 on the north side?
Oh, James is A2, but his parcel is, how many acres, James, over there, 80 acres?
80.
Yeah, it's quite a large parcel, so.
Okay. And then there's another, looks like there's another tract, there's two tracts on the north side.
So that would be the same tract that Mr. Burns owned, it's on A1, he's on this side of James's property and on this side of Ralph's property here, so he owns around those guys. So we'd have one adjoiner on that side other than the family members.
And they're both A2.
Oh, yeah.
Either one of these
I
properties.
guess that one, the Q Public is where I got the zoning for the A1, I didn't go to the zoning map for that one.
Are these properties in Cooper?
Yes, sir, both of them.
Both of them are.
Yes, sir.
Crazy question.
Yes, sir.
If they swap properties, 2 acres, would it reach the Cooper on either one of them?
It still wouldn't mitigate the easement that we're requesting against Mr. Burns' property, even swapping that property.
Well, I'm concerned about Mr. Burns.
Yes,
So Mr. Burns has no legal document saying that I will not contest this. It's just word of mouth.
Correct.
And I'm only trying to do my job is to make sure that everything is proper. I mean, that, to me, something has to be in writing or saying, not just by word of mouth.
Well, all I've got is property owner talk to the gentleman and pass the information along to me. That's all I can provide you.
I understand. And I'm just trying to point out to the board, because I don't have a vote, and I'm trying to point out to the board everything they must consider.
well, my concern is, there's a reason for setback.
Correct.
And the purpose for those setbacks is to protect the neighboring and other setbacks, so, I mean, other things, so, you know, that's, like you said, that's a lot of setback you have.
There's also a variance process as well.
Right, I understand
Yes.
that.
Okay.
And you
Yep.
said it's possible to go somewhere else on that property.
Haven't evaluated that yet. I think it's our right to ask for the variance and come before the board, present it to you as we see fit, so.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir, thank you. All right, we'll open the public hearing. Would there be anyone want to come forward and speak in favor of this rezone request? Come forward. All right.
My name is Ralph McKay Jr. I am the landowner. I fully support this request for a continuation of a long-standing farming operation on this property. I started growing chickens in 1976, and I moved there in 1972. My father's owned this piece of property since 1946. 20 years from now, it'll be a centennial farm. It'll be in our family for 100 years. My son wants to come back and build him a house and build this other chicken house, and we're gonna remodel the old house that's there. We're talking about $1 million investment. As far as where to build and building in a different place, I don't see that happening. The topography of the rest of the land, this is a tract of land that my dad bought in the early 50s, and it has served us well because we built 3 chicken houses on it. And there's nothing I could have ever done to generate the income that those 3 chicken houses generate. on that piece of property. You could cut hay off of it all day long. It's only about 17 acres. But, like Gary said, you don't want your chicken houses 1,000 feet apart. You want them close together. I used to live in a mobile home, basically about 150 feet from the end of, the old chicken houses, which, you can see on the, aerial photograph. As far as another place, the only other place that there's a possibility we could build, it would probably cost $150,000 of grading to grade a road to that spot.
Just the road.
Just the road, yeah. Wouldn't be talking about any grading for a chicken house. Because, I know Lee's been over there, the road, our land has a lot of bottom land in it. And when they pave the road, it's got the culvert in the creek is 24 feet high. So that gives you some idea how high the road is. We're talking about a 20-foot road down here to, land. So there's really not, any other feasible place to put this. Any other questions, y'all free to ask?
Okay. Anyone else want to speak in favor of? Please come forward.
My name is James McKay. I'm Ralph's brother, and I own the property that a couple of these variances are referring to. And I just want to say I'm 100% in favor of building this new house where it was graded a few years earlier. There have been, as my brother mentioned, there's been chicken houses there for almost 50 years. And I bought my adjoining land knowing that these chicken houses were there. So if it hadn't been for my brother's heart attack 8 or 9 years ago.
9 years ago.
And then following that with the stupid COVID crash that we all had to live through, this house would probably have already been built and we wouldn't be here tonight. It's a perfect location. It's located, you talk about what's best for the county. I appreciate Mr. Smith mentioning property, private property rights. It's located in the far north of the county, as you know, only about half a mile from the Franklin County line. So it's and this location north of Highway 98 has always been seen as an agricultural area first and foremost. There are only 2 or 3 houses a quarter mile from the project, as Gary mentioned, and the rest of the houses are, the next closest is about a half a mile or more away. By my calculations or estimates, 99.9% of the citizens of Madison County live over 2 miles away, and most of them are 10 miles away. I mean, this is about as rural an area as you get, other than the tree farmers like people were talking about here earlier. And as we already said, it would be located next to the existing house, so it would make it economically valuable. Which is, my brother mentioned $1 million. I said several $100,000 added to the tax base with very little in the way of expense from the county, because the road's already there. It's already built to handle chicken trucks and handles them every day. So as he's already mentioned, completing the project will create enough income so my brother and my nephew can keep the family-owned land, a family farm for the next generation. Everyone knows how much land values have gone up these last few years. Raising cows alone to pay the tax bills is just harder and harder to do. To maintain the farm, added revenue is needed, and that's what this chicken house would provide. Plus, it would create conditions so my nephew could raise his family on the farm. Like a lot of us grew up in this, a similar situation. So again, just want to emphasize that, you know, it's you know, the perfect place to build, because it's already, and would already have been if it hadn't been for some other economic circumstances. And, I think you got a good deal on getting the pad, is one of the reasons why the pad was done back, did you say 1999?
99.
I think the people doing it, gave him a good deal on the pad. So if you have any questions?
No. Anyone else?
Thank y'all for allowing us to speak tonight. My name's Ralph McKay III. Everybody mostly knows me as Trey, son of the property owner Ralph McKay. We're going after this variance for, I mean, what my uncle said, my dad, Mr. Harvin's been gracious enough to speak on our behalf as well, is I grew up on this farm. I'm 41 years old, and I'm looking to move back and build a house there. That would create some more tax revenue for the county. And as for Mr. Pruitt, I think you actually spoke on the grading of it. If you come on the property, you can actually see where the final grade is in elevations for where you step up into where the scratch area would be of the chicken house, and you can see where the drainage is and stuff. This area up above here in this is a giant hill, so any dirt we would have to strip off to get rid of the few trees and stuff that are on there. There's more than plenty dirt to move to replace it, to keep it on level, so you wouldn't be really creating any more of a drainage issue than you have now. But this is something we've talked about for years, and I think it's time that I come home and pick up where he left off. He just turned 76 this year. I just turned 41. My wife and 3 kids, I would love to raise them out there, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And something he mentioned is in 20 years we'll be 100 years farming on this piece of dirt, and that means a lot to me, and I would love for my kids to be able to do something like that. And if we get this variance, that would be exactly what it would do, because I have some contingencies with the chicken companies that are just basically, I'm waiting on approval to start building a chicken house, basically. So, and I'm with a handshake agreement of having chickens in said chicken houses by mid to late November, barring everything, if everything is approved. So, yes. Thank you.
All right, thanks, sir. Anyone else want to speak in favor of?
Let me say one more thing. It's been brought up a couple of times. What year was the moratorium? Is that 2008?
Well, what does that have to do with it?
At that time, the setbacks were 200 feet. And this grading and all was done with that in mind. So if you look at each one of these setbacks and applied it to the 200 feet, you'd be talking about 20 feet, 30 feet, and that's not a lot. So to me, that's something that ought to be. I've had politicians, attorneys tell me that this should be grandfathered in. I don't know. I'd probably have to go to court to do something like that, and I'm not going there. But I think that's something that ought to be taken into consideration, because the 300-foot setback is relatively new. It was not in play in the 90s.
Well, I won't debate that, Ralph, but that is, it's 300 feet down.
I understand.
So 200 feet has nothing to do with it.
I understand. But you're also talking about a 500-foot chicken house, so 100 feet is not that much. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Anyone want to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Anyone want to speak in opposition? If not, I'll bring it back, close the public hearing, bring it back to the board, and I'll entertain a motion.
Because I had a question for Mike. Something that I really struggle with is I've been a member of this, is being consistent. And that's what the law looks at from what I understand, and I'm not a lawyer in this reason, I'm coming to you. When a variance is put before us, that allows for a variation. How, if you're pressed on things, do we look at, I believe tonight we have 3 different variance requests. How do we make sure us as a board are being consistent?
First, I would, tell you to look at those standards and make sure you're applying them.
1113.
1113.
Right.
And, if you denied one variance tonight under 1113 and you want to grant another one, you would have to look at those standards and have some rational basis of explaining why they apply differently, which they could. And those are your standards.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions for the group? Not again, I will entertain a motion to approve the conditions, or to deny.
I'll make a motion that we deny this request, much like the previous that we looked at earlier, and that's simply trying to be consistent. I thank everybody for what it is that they do, but please understand what it is that we try to go by as well.
Okay, we have a motion to deny. Do I have a second? We have a second. Any further questions or comments from the board? All right, Smith.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, this variance request has been denied. It will be presented to the Board of Commissioners on May the 4th. I suggest that you all be here and to present this to the Board of Commissioners as you have presented to us tonight. Anything else that needs to come before us tonight?
How do I get a copy of that zoning map? Yes.
You asking him?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all can have that.
It's a good question. I have been asking for years to have it available on the website, but
We're going back to public to figure out zoning properties.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not there, so, well, as you know, to keep up with the disclaimer, so, the only way I ever see them is when they're posted, it's when they're, like that one I was looking at with you, is when it's in the zoning.
I know it's not available to the public.
Well, you can come here and look at it, I don't know if they have a way
In
of
the
getting
21st
copies.
century, most counties have.
Okay,
Preaching to the choir, brother.
let's move on to number 11.
Jeff Hendricks is requesting to rezone his 47.3 acres from A1 to A2 to allow the property to be split into 3 15.76 acre tracts to give to his 2 children and retain the other tract for himself. Property is located at 1216 Taylor's Road in Hull, on map 15, parcel 117 in District 1.
All right, Mr. Hendricks?
Hey, gang.
Hey.
How are we?
Good.
So I think this is gonna be hopefully pretty simple, cut and dry. So we bought this 48 acres here, planning on it being family land forever and ever. Trying to get it where I got 2 boys, one's out of college, hopefully going to work for the airlines, we don't know, but he's got a promising career. The other one's in college, A&M. I'm just wanting to the house that's on it now that we live in right here. And we're just trying to cut it so it's still large tracts, able to stay in conservation. But enough where I don't have to tie all 48 acres up on the mortgage. It's on construction loan now, so I got to close the mortgage, I think mid-July. And so just trying to do this so we can, one, keep it in conservation, keep it rural, farmland, agricultural, but everywhere, hopefully they got a place to
build my home, stay with me as long as I'm here. So that's all I'm really trying to accomplish, is having room for the boys without having to dig it out from under a bank loan in 5 to 10 years when they get ready to build something.
You're not planning on splitting it again, are you?
Sir?
You're not planning on splitting it again, are you?
No, I'm actually gonna put it all in conservation. That's why we designed this to all be over 15 acres, so it'll all still qualify to stay in Goodwood. So, yeah, we're not planning on cutting it or subdividing, just, there's 3 of us. There's my wife and I, and my oldest son and my youngest son, so that's 3 for 3.
So this makes it 3 separate lot,
Parcels.
lot parcels, right?
Yes.
So it could be.
Well, at A2, it's gotta be 10-acre minimum, so once I do this, I'm locking it up at that point. I got no room to cut it any smaller, so.
Do you have a question? Yes. On track 1,
Mm-hmm.
if you look on Q Public off of Planter Gunnell Road, it looks like there's, I guess, a private drive back there called Doris Lane.
That's right.
Is there a home back there?
So it used to, previous owner had, so Doris runs out this way, kind of, the road kind of bends around like so. And he had 4 or 5 mobile homes back there that he was renting out. We demolished all of those.
All that's gone.
Yeah, they didn't even have septic tank permits, so all that's gone completely. The wells are still there, so actually all 3 tracks would actually have a well apiece. So it works out pretty good for, the boys, but yeah, everything, 3 residences, all.
So the only dwelling on the property now is your home?
That's correct.
On site.
Yep, and it's up in, like I said, kind of in the corner of the crossroads.
All right, any further questions? Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, we will open the public hearing. Does anyone want to speak in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, anyone want to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Hearing none, I'll bring it back before the board and entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve.
I second. We have a motion by Cynthia and a second by Kenneth to approve. Any questions or comments from the board? All right, Kenneth? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, this has been approved. We recommend to the Board of Commissioners for approval. There will be another hearing here on May the 4th.
Thank you.
Okay, number 12.
Okay, Brian Martin is requesting a variance to be allowed to build 1 poultry house that cannot meet the 300-foot setback requirement in 2 places on one of the side property lines with a deficit of 122 feet and 134 feet. The property is located at 4787 Highway 98 East in Comer on map 82, parcel 11, in District 2.
All right, Mr. Martin?
Yeah, so I've got a existing, poultry farm that's in operation. We're changing out equipment right now and changing integrators, and we're deciding to build another chicken house with the integrator. And it has to be set back due to the loadout area. And with it being here, my well's here, the generator room is in between houses 2 and 3. Because when you're looking at the farm, you read left to right, so the furthest house is house 1, 2, 3. So the closest house you ride up the driveway to is 4. And so the generator room is in between 2 and 3, and we're able to tie into the existing generator, as well as inside that room are the 2 wells. And so if I have the house out here even, we got the driveway that comes up and the grading, there's a drop off in this area, and the grading to do that would be twice the grading of of trying to put the house right here. So with that being the effect, we dropped it back. I talked with the neighboring partner, our property owner, Miss Patricia Carey, and she has signed a letter, and with the map in the letter stating that she understands the setbacks and she is good to go.
All right, any questions?
Why can't you put it on the other side of the
you would have to have a new generator, have to have a new meter with the electric company, and probably a new well. So the hardship with that, the cost of doing all that, and the grading over there, because it's not near as flat. So when I built the stack house, we took the dirt here, because at one time, I was thinking I'd build a barn for my cows, because I don't like them being cold. It's pretty ridiculous, I understand. But anyway, so I made it a little flat so the dirt's right there to build the stack house. So with that being said, it's pretty flat, and it cuts on the grading significantly. We moved the house over. The poultry company probably would not like it, number one, because when you build poultry houses, if you notice, they're in groups of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And when you build a fifth house, they want it in line with the other 4 for bird health. And if everything logistically will go with that in terms of your power that's already there, the generator's already there, the wells are already there, and then it makes it very, what you want to say, makes it we're trying to get in the budget, so.
Can I ask something about this one? You come up the dirt road, I think that's your house over here?
It's a shop.
Shop. Okay, when you had a sign, you not go past that. Okay. So
Every poultry company does. It's just biosecurity, that's it.
Yeah, okay, so I saw the poultry, house, and so there's a lot of, show me where that drive is.
So the drive is basically, I believe, in red right here.
Okay, so, yeah, so all that up front is your land too?
Where? Here?
No.
Here?
Go down.
Here.
No, to the right.
Here?
Yeah.
Yes, this is it. This is where the 2 wells are located, roughly.
Okay.
Where they had, the panels, you saw probably two sets of panels set up. It's because the cows will tear up the well.
Oh, so what is in that area? Just the wells?
Just the wells, yes.
Okay, that was a lot of land. So you can't move that more this way towards the well?
No, because again, the generator room and the power
Okay.
that comes into are right here. And so we're gonna bore underneath the 2 existing to the 5th chicken house. The wells and the, generator, the power. The Georgia meter is at the generator room, and that's where the power will run.
Okay, I understand, in their business, there are costs. And you want to go the least resistant way for that cost. But, like I said, you have Fords. There's a reason for it. But that's the only place that would go. You said the reason you don't want to put it back past the Ford is because of cost too?
In this area?
Because of the cost, right?
In this area, is that what you're talking to?
But you would
Yes, it would be cost because this is woods, if you noticed when you came up there. So I had to level out all them woods, and then I don't know if there to where I would put it would be the.
Yeah, that's what I said, well, you need setback.
So with currently, with the variance, this is one landowner.
Right.
And she has signed off.
Okay, well, let me ask a question. So basically, it's economic reasons, the reason you want this.
The hardships.
Okay.
Economics, and plus biosecurity.
And I respect other property owners saying that it's okay. But if we went by okay, by all property owners, somebody could put something that doesn't belong anywhere, as long as the person says okay.
She sent a letter.
Well, I understand she sent a letter. But, we can't make our decisions based on the other property owners saying it's okay.
Correct, maybe, but we also can't predict the future.
Correct.
So we've got to go with the.
Well, I just want to point that out because, I can get my neighbors to say it's okay for me to put whatever, but it may not be good for the county. Plus, I want to point out to the board that we must remain consistent.
Yeah, and there's a lot of poultry houses, as you notice. There's 8 across the road from me. You go less than a mile, there's 2 breeder houses, 6 broilers, and then you go onto Low Road, which is all within about a mile. That's down Clements Road, I think. And then down Low Road, there's 12 and 4, 16 more houses. You go on the other side of the middle school, there's 6 more chicken houses. So all this area is pretty rural and poultry, if you could say.
I don't want to disrespect, Bill, because you all put food on the table.
Yeah.
And I don't want to disrespect your business and what you all are trying to do. And I know it's a cost, but like the one gentleman said, poultry makes a lot of money.
They
I know,
do.
They sent me a thing here, and what they said was, if they had 106 chicken pens, they produce a lot of eggs.
Yes.
So,
Poultry
so I'm saying,
does make a lot of money.
okay, so I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is in a business, you're gonna have costs. And that cost, production is gonna outweigh that cost eventually. Am I not right?
Well, I'll clarify myself now. Poultry companies make a lot of money. The producers don't make what? So when you see Pilgrim's Pride quarterly earnings, $450 million or $13 billion, whatever the quarterly is,
Yeah.
I don't think I get 0.0001% of that.
Well, let me.
It's all based off of, there's a tournament system and then there's egg production, there's stuff that's out of our realm on making money.
Excuse me. Cynthia,
Yeah, okay.
we're not
I know.
here to determine the amount of money that's made or that kind of thing. What we're here to determine is if this variance fits and is it consistent with whatever else we've done, that is what we need to stay on.
It's just, you come up with the one,
Well, I understand that. That's not our decision to make.
Right.
Our decision to make is, does this fit or is this variance appropriate? Thanks, sir. All right. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who wants to speak for this reason, for this variance?
Gary Harlan, 7747 Highway 172, the great city of Comer. This little area where we live, I think you've had several cases, 4 of them north of 98 tonight. You guys got to tell us what y'all want out there. We got to support these guys that have existing operations, that need to expand, that want to raise a family. There might be money to be made in agriculture, but let me tell you, my banker makes most of it on interest payments. I promise you that. In this area right here, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of chickens are in this area. I think there's probably close to 20,000 head of cattle in this area. This is the last frontier of Madison County right here. Unless y'all want to start seeing a bunch of A2s coming here for 10, 15 acre lots, better start thinking about supporting local agriculture and existing operations. I understand a new operation is a different approach. Existing operations and young people that are taking the risk to keep these things running, you got to get behind them. Either we are an ag county or we are not an ag county. That's all I got. I'll say the same thing when the next gentleman gets up.
Thank you.
Well, I would like to say, we're not that we're not supporting. It's just, we're not.
We don't debate this public comment, we just listen.
All right, anyone else wants to speak in favor of this variance? Anyone wants to speak in opposition to this variance? Hearing none, I'm bringing it back before the board, and I will entertain a motion. Everybody speak at one time then.
I have a question for the applicant, I just
Okay.
asked it earlier. How much are you pushing back this particular poultry house from where the others line up? How much are you shifting?
It's, I believe, 60 feet, I think it's 60 feet to allow the adequate loadout area for that one house. You understand what loadout, I don't wanna call anybody ignorant or anything or talk down to anybody. But when I say loadout, it's the loading yard in front of the chicken houses for the semi trucks to be able to turn around, for the catchers to catch the chickens, and for the forklift to be able to load that truck. That's what I mean by loadout area.
And if this particular house is lined up just like the other houses, there is no way you could do that.
There's no way. That's where I would have to,
Without sinking money into it to move dirt.
twice to 3 times the amount that it's gonna cost just to grade, because I'd have to move the whole driveway over. And to the left of the driveway, Miss Fortson saw, I'm sure there was a drop off to the left of the driveway when you went up into the chicken houses. Did you?
I didn't go all the way to it, because
Oh, you
had a
didn't?
sign there.
Oh, I wish I'd have saw you. I'd have said go on, but, yeah, so, I'm sorry, but up there at the top, to the left, in front of the first chicken house in blue, is a drop off, and we would have to move the whole loading yard and everything over to the left, and that's major trucking of dirt, we couldn't get off of grading and everything.
Can I ask you a question, Lee?
Even if this house was constructed there or on the other side to the north of this, it still doesn't meet the 300 foot setback. If you look at the red dotted line, even the existing houses, they were probably built on the 200 foot setback. And if you built a new one, regardless of where you put it, on either side of those four, still not gonna meet the 300.
Probably not. I don't know about north. It's just due to all the woods up there that I'd have to clear out and regrade and everything. Like I said, the flatter part is exactly where that house, and it'll have to step down just a little bit versus being all level with the other 4. But with the step down, it's still gonna be much economical to achievable to grade out and everything.
Ask your question, Lee? Yeah. Okay. Bring back before the board, and I'll entertain a motion.
Well, as we state, we gotta be consistent, and that's what I said that to. So I say that we deny.
Have a motion to deny?
I'll second.
We have a second? Any other questions, comments? All right, Lee? Yes.
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 Okay, this request has been denied. We will present it to the Board of Commissioners on May the 4th. I suggest that you be here and present your case to them. Number 13.
Excuse me. Cody and Carrie Circle is requesting a variance to be allowed to build one poultry house that cannot meet the 300-foot setback requirement from the property lines with deficit amounts of 6.65 feet, 229.64 feet, and 272.44 feet, and it cannot meet the 400-foot setback requirement from a surrounding dwelling with a 105.21-foot deficit. The property is located at Moon Gas Road in Carlton on map 96, parcel 68 in District 4.
Third.
How y'all doing?
Good.
All right, so we bought the farm in 2016 from my mother and father-in-law. We were in the process of gonna build a new farm. Long story short, it was just more applicable for us to buy this farm. As time goes on, the number one house that we are wanting to tear down, which would be this one, we wanna tear it down, build back in the exact same footprint that it was in, except for on the back, the total length added would be 100 feet, but the total dirt disturbed would be less than 3,000 square feet. It's already graded out 50 feet flat off of the back of that. As far as my neighbors, of course, my mother and father-in-law that own the land, we have letters from them saying that they are fine with everything, from the variance to the water retention and all that, they're no problem. And also my neighbors to the very back of the property, Mr. Marshall Bush and his wife, Linda Bush, we have a letter from them also saying that they are completely fine with it.
And I understand too, like you talk about consistency, and I get that part. So we bought this farm, we've been running it for 10 years, my wife grew up on this farm, has been there for 38 years. So when we bought this farm, of course, we had lifelong plans. We can't help how deterioration has happened on that house. Fieldale Poultry told us that there, and they already sent letters in too, that farm, that house is no longer worth, it's not safe to grow chickens. It's not safe for the human or the chicken. So that has something that has to be done. And I realize that we're so far inside of the setbacks that it's crazy. But I'm not beating around the bush. I just believe in coming out and being truthful. If we don't get this variance, we've already got all the money tied up. All the money has been agreed on. We have the loan. It's sitting at the bank. Farm Service Agency told me when we started this deal, because of no more dirt than we were already tearing up, that we were going to be messing with topsoil or anything like that, and also that it was already there and we were just adding on to what was there. The EPD, EPA, all that, nothing would have to get involved in this because we were not tearing anything up, as if we were coming into a farm where there was nothing there. We've been running this farm. This farm was built in 1987, and like I said, if we don't get this variance, if we can't build this chicken house sitting right where it's sitting now, then we go bankrupt. I cannot grow one house of eggs. I can't have eggs in one house paying for $1.2 million. I can't. That won't be enough to pay for our bills, much less the poultry house. So it boils down to either we get the variance and we're allowed to build the house and we have two houses bringing in income, or we go bankrupt and we lose everything we've got. And that's just 100% the truth.
You said this burnt down?
No, ma'am.
Oh, I thought you
This, no, ma'am. It's just over time, it has deteriorated so much. Like the middle of the chicken house, basically where the feed bins would sit, if you look at the top, 50 feet both ways, you see the roof doing this. The whole roof is sagging in, and we've already, the house that's still remaining is fully upgraded right now. The only thing left to do is set the generator. And we were supposed to get chickens in April 1st, and then April 27th. That's been moved back now to June because things have taken so long. We haven't had a poultry check since August the 3rd. Thankfully, thank God that I know how to do electrical work and I work hard. We've made it this far, and I don't want to see us make it this far. We started this process in May last year with FSA, and they drug us along and nobody did anything forever and ever. And I ain't no more special than this man sitting right here. He works hard every day, and just like all of us work, everybody works. But we worked our tails off to get to this point. I love farming. I love my family's land. And it ain't right to come to a point like this and we not get the variance and be put out of business and lose everything we've worked hard for all because of some footage that we couldn't do anything about. We didn't come in and say there's no farm, now we want to build two houses. Understand.
Yes, sir. Are you extending this footprint, or are you putting the?
So, right here,
Yeah.
where this is at, which is hard for me to tell, so there's my stack house. Right here, this house should be 425 feet, basically as is right now.
Mm-hmm.
It would be 100 feet off the back of this house is what would be added on. And as I said, it's already got 50 feet roughly graded at grade right now for that. So they would, Smith Grading would build up 50 feet onto that to make all this be level and be able to build.
You're trying to extend the existing footprint.
That's why they asked for the variance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah, because everything was grandfathered in, and we talked with everyone as long as it was standing. But once we tear it down, then it's no longer grandfathered in unless it's the act of God that tears it down. But at the same point, when the company you're growing for says you can no longer grow chickens in this, it's not safe, nor can you, we can't even make money off of it. They told me that, you know, the guy up the road working a fourth as hard as I am and making way more money. So if you're in business, like you talked about, you have expenses in business and stuff. So it's costing us a lot of money to do what we're doing already. I don't mind spending that money, but I would like to see a return and not go in debt and then be made bankrupt.
The reason I'm asking you is because you're extending a footprint that's already there.
Yes.
Right. Okay, with the same footprint, you can still put a chicken house and meet the setback.
No, ma'am.
No, okay.
No,
That's what I-
I've only got-
That's what I'm trying to.
So right here, where you see on the setback, you're talking about like 6 feet.
Okay, I just.
I can
that's what
touch
I'm
my
trying to
chicken
get.
house and my mother and father-in-law's property line because they owned the farm before we bought it.
Okay, that's what I was trying to.
Yeah, there's nowhere on my whole property, because we already looked at that, there's nowhere on my property, we got 40 acres that do this. So there's nowhere that I can meet anything other than right where we're sitting.
Thanks, sir.
All right.
All right, we're going to public hearing, anyone wants to?
One more question.
Sure.
Is this, I know you're extending this house, this was a shorter house than the other house.
Yeah, this was, like I said, this was built in 87, and this was only a 400-foot,
So you're extending.
yes, it was a third space 400 feet.
If this house were set up on that, in that exact location with the extension, and you were replacing that house, are you more or less, the distance to the property line more or less?
I'm basically the same, because if you see right here,
You're not extending the,
I'm not getting closer to the property.
okay, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, because if you see the chicken house here, this property line runs kind of at an angle this way. So by me doing that, you may be talking a matter of feet, like a few feet, not hundreds of feet or anything like that. We're basically running with the property line. And like I said, I don't know if y'all need these or not, but I've got both letters from everybody.
We already got.
So what you're doing here is not putting it closer to the property line than it already was.
Right.
Or would it be?
Right. It's not changing any of that.
All right, thanks, sir.
Good.
All right.
So anyone here wants to speak in favor of this rezone request?
You know you want to hear from me again.
Yes, sir.
This is right in my backyard as well, and the reason that these neighbors are giving folks letters is because they want to see this stuff continue where we're at. They don't want to see the next wave, which is land development subdivisions, guys. Keep these things going. I know we're talking about consistency, but keeping these young guys going is what we got to do out here.
All right, anyone else? Anyone else? Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board, entertain a motion.
You had asked for opposition, but I think that would be moot.
Okay, then what,
Okay, well, before we go, we didn't ask him like we asked everybody else. Is there any other place you can put this that I make setback?
Well, I answered that.
Oh, he did, okay, I'm sorry.
While I'm doing that, I want to hand you this. This was laid on the ground back here. I don't know whose it is, but it's.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I have nowhere I can possibly make 300 feet at all.
all right,
Okay. That's your motion.
ask it for a motion.
Yeah. There's a ID in there, so y'all can find him.
Due to the
Call him,
fact,
come get it.
due to the fact that this is not going to be any more non-conforming than what it already is, I recommend approval.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do I get a second?
I'll second.
Before we go further, now what do you mean by that?
We have a motion and a second, hold on a second, we have a motion and a second to approve. Now, is there any discussion?
Okay, I wanna, cause I asked him about the same footprint. And you're saying that footprint is the same even as it was before.
If he built it on the same exact footprint, it's a certain distance to the property line, right? So he's making an extension of the poultry house. It's not gonna be any more distance to the property line or less than what it already is.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So it's no more non-conforming than what it already is.
The property line next to me runs parallel.
Sir, it's back in, I'm here now.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to answer a question.
I actually had the same thought, that's what it is. It's parallel, so it's
So
not
it's
increasing,
not.
it's not increasing the non-compliance.
Oh, so,
That's my reason.
Any further comments?
Existing operations.
right. I hear that.
All right,
But it didn't, well, that's the question I asked about the extension.
A motion on the floor. We have a second. Any further discussion?
So does this go along with the?
That's up to y'all's judgment. I mean, that's,
Here's
here's your section 1113 and your fellow board members that explain why they think this one is different.
And it's up to you to vote
It's up to you
the way
both.
you feel.
Exactly.
And it's hard, because it does not line up what they're asking for. It lines up with the same as the other one.
Not really.
Nobody said it would be easy.
It's not easy.
Nobody said it would be easy. Nobody said it would be easy, so.
That's okay.
But I'm saying it is, because I asked about that footprint extension. That's why I asked if it's the same footprint.
Well, they have
It is the same.
explained their reasoning,
I understand.
so it's up to you to determine yourself how you want to vote.
So I have to make sure I know what I'm doing. And what I was asking him is the same one as what's being said. So my thing is a, yes, and that's what you're saying, that we're approving. So I go with the approval.
Yes.
So it's the same.
Okay.
We're still in school. Okay. You didn't call for the vote now, Mr. Chairman.
It's late, but
I would, okay. Are we clear?
yeah.
We have a motion and a second. All right. Cynthia?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
This has been approved. We are a recommending board.
Thank
This will go before the Board of Commissioners on May the 4th. I do suggest that you be here and you present your case to them. They have the final say. All right. Anything else that needs to come before this board tonight?
I'm making a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn? Second. We are adjourned.
Good seeing you.
Welcome, guys.
He might change his mind after tonight.
So me,
Don't your partner come with you.
I don't care.
Oh, my goodness. Tell her no vacation on me.